Happy Wednesday and welcome to the download from 24 IT Services. I'm joined by, I think, probably my first recurring guest, actually, from the show, which is someone who we had on from last season or last year, depending on how you want to look at it. And this is someone that I've known from the business community for quite a while. And let's just say she's earned a nickname of Trouble, and it's well deserved, but I'm joined this week by my guest co-host, Pippa from Applaud Business Consultancy. How are you doing today, Pippa?
I'm doing good, thank you very much. Did you know there's 2 4 o'clocks in the day?
Don't tell me you saw the first 4 o'clock today.
Unfortunately, yes.
Why?
These things called birds keep cheeping in the summer.
We have one that's like almost like right outside our window. I swear that the neighbours have got a tree in their garden, and this bird every single morning tries to wake us up from that tree. I swear it's terrible.
Yeah, not good.
So, what time did you get out of the house today?
Just before 6 o'clock-ish, I think.
Oh, I was only just getting up and getting ready at that sort of time.
If I fall asleep now, it's got nothing to do with you. It's because I was too early.
No, it's definitely because I've bored you with like IT and tech and cybersecurity topics that we're going to be talking about.
I'm sure you'll help me through them.
But no, it's really good for you to be able to join us today, Pippa, and we've got some quite interesting topics to be able to go over that I know last time you were on the show we were talking about the big cyber attacks. There was, what was it, M&S, Jaguar Land Rover, and all those different people that were suffering attacks at that time. But yes, today we are going to be talking, well, first of all, 24 IT have got a brand new website.
I know, I've had a look and it is absolutely fantastic. I love all the little numbers you've got popping up for different things.
All the different statistics, yeah.
It's an age thing. I'm sorry, I can't remember words, but I'm just looking at them now. The countries that you work in, I think that should be more myself.
Technically, I suppose when people travel,
Exactly.
it is. Because we support people if, like, I don't know, say, for example, internally, like when Mike or Tony travel, we get our cyber team phoning them up saying, by the way, are you in, like, Dubai or something like that? Yeah, just traveling for business.
No, love it. It's absolutely brilliant site.
Yeah, you were saying before the show that, like, things like the cybersecurity statistics, it's, like, really interesting to be able to see those, like, live on the website.
Yes, definitely. Certainly the number that you've managed to prevent, which is really good.
Yes, definitely. And in fact, those integrations showing those statistics on screen is actually the thing that prevented the website from going live for about a month. We had it working, but for some reason, the homepage would just load really, really slowly.
It got a lot of counting to do.
Exactly. But no, we got it all fixed and we got it all live. We've been working with multi-web marketing to be able to design the site. I've known the guys from multi-web marketing from events over the years and things like that. But no, we've put a lot of hard work into it, and we've created whole new sections of the website. There's a new resources section to be able to download brochures and info packs. We've even got a section to host the podcast library as well, so people can go back onto it at a later date to be able to, like, find out more information and stuff like that.
Not enter on this one.
Do not. I have to change the thumbnail on it afterwards. We've got new pages dedicated to our compliance as a service solution, compliance management, cyber essentials plus, 27,001 even as well. We've even got a new section. In fact, Pippa, do you fancy trying something live on the show?
Yeah, go on. Just be nice.
We've got a new section that will allow people to check their email and domain security. So let me see. Hopefully this works. Let's see if I can move over to my screen share screen. So Pippa can't see this at the moment, but on the screen, I have a check your email security score that's got Pippa's email address in.
Say that it's a lot better than it is.
People will see.
Well, I can't, so tell me it's a lot better.
Okay, then. So, check your score. Let's see what happens when we do this. Hopefully it works. So, Pippa, apparently your email domain has moderate risk. You have an overall score of 56%. Your impersonation rating is 3 out of 5. Your privacy rating is 0 out of 5. And your brand rating is 0 out of 5.
Oh,
So,
explain.
maybe we need to do a little bit of work on that to be able to get it up. So let's have a look at some of the information that we get on this. So, impersonation rating. Your domain currently has little to no protection, leaving it vulnerable to cyber criminal use in email-based attacks. This could lead to financial loss, decreased trust, and reputational damage. Privacy rating. Your domain has minimal to no defenses in place for email privacy. There is a high risk of your communications being intercepted or compromised by unauthorized users. Whilst most senders encrypt their communications by default, it's critical to enforce policies for those that don't. And in terms of brand rating, right now, your branding isn't displayed within your emails.
I deleted that, I did have it on there and I took it off, yeah.
Well, it says here, branding builds trust and assures recipients that an email is authentic. We recommend a full BIMI implementation for boosted recognition. Now, if I was to, first of all, I'm going to email this report to Pippa so that she can look at it and review with her current supplier, because we don't actually supply Pippa's IT and cybersecurity. However, if I was to put this in, I'm going to have to actually type in my email address. Oh no, there we go. It's going to autofill. If I was to check the score for our own emails, thankfully, this shows that we have a completely 100% score, 5 out of 5 across the board. So definitely head over to the new email compliance page on our website if you want to check how secure your emails are, and by all means, reach out to us if you want to find out how we can support you to better secure your emails. And Pippa, I think we need to have a chat after this.
Yes, I've just got the report. Yeah, let's put that to bed.
Yeah, okay then. But it's a really, really useful tool. And this is just one example. In fact, I'm going to switch back to co-host in the room for today, Pippa. This is just one example of some of the many new features that we've added onto our site and ways that we're finding that we want to provide extra value for people. We want to make the information that is on our site usable and friendly. Like, give people the information at a glance that will just allow them to be able to make the best decisions possible, really. Like I say, we've redesigned it from the ground up, wanted it to be more user-friendly, easier to find what people are looking for, and above everything else, we wanted it to better represent us as a brand. I think you'll agree, Pippa, that the new colour scheme, the new layout is very much a lot more 24.
It is and it's very pleasing to the eye, very interactive, simple to use. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and like previously on our old site, our Meet the Team section was just Tony and Mike. It made it look like there was no one else there. At the moment, we've added on all of our senior leadership and like department heads onto there, as well as our customer success agents. Eventually, we'll be adding on even more of our team members onto there. We have 56 team members. It could take a little while to be able to get everyone on there. And also we're wanting to be able to make sure that we have Meet the Team videos linked to people's accounts wherever possible as well. So all of that information is now on there now for senior leadership and department heads. And like I say, we've got all these brand new pages about compliance as a service, new cybersecurity pages, and just it's a lot easier to be able to find what people are looking for. So I suppose the talking point on this, though, especially with the advent of AI and the increasing usage of AI in Google search, even for example, do you feel that business brand websites are important nowadays? Do you feel that having a nice website for someone to visit is as important as it used to be?
I think it certainly has its place. Certainly the way that as long as they are interactive and easy to use,
Yeah.
then yeah, I think they do have the place. Um,
It's about adding that extra value, I suppose, as well, isn't it? Like someone can search for something in Google and be presented with a search result and like some information that cites potentially 24 IT as a source, for example. But if you have a tool such as the email security checker in place, it's having that extra value add to it, providing people with useful tools and useful information.
and the other thing with regards to your websites, um, things like ChatGTP will find if people put it in, if you have a decent website with certain things in it that people are looking for, ChatGTP and others
Yeah.
will find you and
Yeah.
suggest you as a company that can deal with.
Exactly, exactly. And that's actually part of the reason why we wanted to go down this process of redesigning and relaunching the website, even is that more and more nowadays, people are relying on ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and other different solutions out there, even just AI results in Google search,
Yeah.
to be able to find out information at a glance, even if they don't want to go into the full website. But the important part of this is that these different solutions source the website that they've been able to find these bits of information from. And by rebuilding our website and making sure it's friendly for AI tools to be able to search through, it means that we're more likely at that point to be able to be cited as a source in these results.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just part of the reason why we wanted to be able to go down this route of redesigning the website, but also, like I said, it's going to make it a lot easier for us to be able to grow and expand as we grow and expand. I mean, me and Pippa were speaking a little bit before the show because she was commenting on how busy it looks in our office nowadays. And we've grown massively over this past few years. I think when I started with the business, we had about 36 employees across three offices. We're now at about 56 employees across three offices. And
Good.
we're getting to the point where we're running out of room. So we might need to expand even further at some point. But it's really a testament to like the success of the branding that we've been doing, the growth that we've been doing as a business, but also those partnerships that we've developed locally as well. So
Definitely out there.
yes, I do our we do our
Do
best
very
across
well.
the board.
You
We
do.
we
Good for
try our
you.
best to be able to
Yes.
be involved in as much as possible and just be able to help people, really. But moving on to the second news story for this week. Now, Microsoft BitLocker. This is a way for users to be able to encrypt the information that is on their drives of their computers, their laptops, to be able to protect it from someone who might be able to force their way into a computer and pull all of the information off of it. However, you would think that that would be secure without the BitLocker encryption key that you would have to type in to be able to unlock the device if, I don't know, maybe you locked yourself out of it, or maybe it was lost or stolen, you get it back, you want to be able to get access to all of your information again. Usually you would put in that encryption key to be able to gain access to it. However, a security researcher by the name of Yellow Eclipse has actually developed a new exploit called Yellow Key, which allows them to be able to bypass BitLocker encryption just with a simple off-the-shelf USB stick, not any sort of rubber ducky. I've spoken about the rubber duckies and things before. This is just a very simple off-the-shelf USB stick, just with some files that can be copied onto it. All you have to do, you boot into Windows recovery mode, you run a command from the USB stick, you reboot the device, and there you have it. Elevated access to a formally encrypted drive without any keys at all. This is a massive exploit. It's worth noting that Chaotic Eclipse, the person who developed this exploit, released this vulnerability without following standard vulnerability reporting best practices. They just released it onto the internet and released it to news organizations that were able to report on it. They have said that this was done in response to Microsoft banning their GitHub and deleting their Microsoft account, which was used to report bugs. Microsoft, however, have said that they have been unable to verify this claiming of this account being deleted. Microsoft have since released a statement to say that BitLocker with TPM and PIN are safe from this exploit, but I suppose the bigger question, Pippa, on this is that until I just spoke about it right now, were you even aware that there was this pretty large Microsoft vulnerability that's out there?
No, not at all.
And
As an everyday user,
yeah,
why I should do, but why don't I?
yeah. I mean, if you were to leave your laptop, I don't know, on a train or in a cafe or something like that, and you were to accidentally walk away from it, even if it's locked, like if you were to accidentally walk away from it, should I say, and someone was to come by, plug a USB stick in, reboot the laptop, and gain access to all of your files, there's potentially like very sensitive information on there.
Yeah, not just mine.
Yeah, that of your clients as well.
Yeah.
It's a massive, massive threat. And whilst we can talk about this on the podcast and we can try and raise awareness to people that are either watching live or they're tuning into the show after the fact or they're checking out the shorts that are going to be on social media, do you feel that Microsoft themselves, the people who have now been informed of this, have done a good enough job to tell users about these types of security flaws?
Quite clearly not. Otherwise, we would know about
No,
it.
exactly.
But why should it even have got that? I mean, whatever you do, there's always going to be somebody that tries to break into
Yeah.
something.
Cyber criminals are very persistent. They will try their best to at any time.
But it should be, we should know about it. The everyday person who has little knowledge of security, other than your general security, we should know about it. We should know how to protect it.
Yeah,
And Microsoft should actually make it harder for that. I mean, we all moan about losing things, losing passwords, and trying
yeah.
to then get back in. But quite clearly, it's not that hard.
No, and it's. I've seen some reports. This has not been confirmed, by the way. I have seen some reports that have said that this could have been built as an intentional backdoor to be able to help people to recover files. However, that's not the point. If there is an intentional backdoor there, someone will exploit it. Again, this is unconfirmed, so I will just make sure that I highlight that. But there should have not been a backdoor there to begin with.
No.
The whole point of encrypting a drive and doing that to protect your files and protect them from being stolen is that people can't just come up with a USB stick and gain access to everything.
Exactly. And I mean, there are, it's always in the news that there's somebody leaving laptops on
Yeah,
trains, and
there's been
it's
government officials that have done it.
exactly. So yeah, it's something that's going to have to be sorted, definitely.
It is, it is. And whilst they have released this statement on social media, I think they need to do a better job of communicating this out through emails, through highlighted information on their website and saying, look, there is this known vulnerability. Yes, the cyber researcher in this case didn't follow standard vulnerability practices. So they are a little bit on the back foot with this. Usually something would be raised with them. They would have the time to work on it in the background and release a proper patch for it.
But sometimes the only way to get hold of their interest is to, obviously, maybe not
Just, yeah.
do it the wrong way,
Well,
because if they're not interested the right way.
exactly. And this is exactly what a 0-day vulnerability is. It's a vulnerability that has not been patched. It's a way that cyber criminals around the world, someone probably even already knew about this that wasn't a cybersecurity researcher. They may have known about this and there may have been tools that have been available to people for a long time. But only now, when this particular cybersecurity researcher had, for lack of a better phrase, a grudge against Microsoft,
Yeah.
have has this come to the forefront and has been reported on by mainstream news, or mainstream, should I say, in our IT and cybersecurity sector?
People are already doing it, and they're doing it to obtain information.
Yeah.
Then they're not going to go and sing and dance about it to say that they've managed to do it.
No.
So the fact that this person has brought to the attention, then it gives them the opportunity to do something about it.
Yeah, and hopefully it will be quick as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully there will be a formal patch very quickly to be able to resolve this, really, and plug the hole, so to speak. Moving on to the third news story, speaking of holes that needed to be plugged recently, and this is actually the title story for this week's podcast, is that Instagram this past week was found to be actively giving attackers access to other people's accounts. Instagram AI, the support chatbot, was used by cybercriminals to trick the platform into granting attackers to other people's accounts. All these people had to do was use a VPN to simulate that they were in the account holder's location or general location, like country, for example, and then use the platform to be able to force a change of email on the account. Then they were able to change the password without any additional authentication and gain access into these people's accounts. Now, I'm not sure exactly how many accounts were impacted, but among those that were the former US President, Barack Obama, whose account was then used to post pro-Iran content before it was recovered. This is a massive security flaw. And thankfully, they've now patched it. A spokesperson from Instagram's parent company, Meta, this past week said in a statement on X or Twitter or whatever we want to call it nowadays, that the vulnerability had been patched. However, again, people were not aware that this was a thing until it was too late. And then, even then, the formal statement came from another social media platform.
Yes.
Why? This has, of course, left many people wondering, how could this have been allowed in the first place? It's not the first instance of a company launching an AI platform without strictly testing it first, but you'd think that a company like Meta would put work in to test for these sorts of vulnerabilities before launching it.
What I just always think, why is it always
these big companies
that are failing? Many smaller companies aren't the ones that are failing. So why is it all the big companies that don't seem to be putting things in place before launching?
They need to do a better job at testing. I mean, you would think that asking an AI solution to be able to say, reset this password or grant me access to this account, like, you would think that those sorts of things would have been extensively tested.
Well, yeah. But never assume. You never assume. But
no.
yeah, it is. It just flabbergasts me
Yeah.
that it's always the huge companies.
Yeah. And it's not the first time that a major company has used an AI platform without completely validating it first. Last year, for example, Taco Bell launched an AI drive-through assistant, which you can tell already that this is going to go poorly, where a user was able to go up to this AI drive-through system and try to order 18,000 water cups and reportedly crashed the system. Because, of course, you want to order 18,000 water cups from a drive-through at your local fast food restaurant.
Well, yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I have no words on that one.
No. But this won't be the last time that this happens. But it's on these brands now for them to put in better testing in place before they launch these new types of solutions, because they are putting the end users, especially when it comes to Instagram, they're putting the end users at risk.
Why don't they test it? I mean, quite clearly what they're actually doing is they're launching them and letting us come up with the ideas to test it for them.
Well, supposedly they would have done some form of testing, but obviously it's not been extensive enough, and they've launched it before it's probably ready to be launched.
Yeah. I think sometimes they just want it out there and done.
Yeah.
Which is not the best way.
No. Definitely not. Moving on to some shorter news stories this week. Computex is this week in Taiwan, and I've not been given the chance to go to Taiwan to Computex. Probably not the best use of business resources, but anyway, there are companies from across the tech space that are showing off all of their latest and greatest new products. Nvidia, the graphics card and AI chipset manufacturer, has announced its RTX Spark chipset, which aims to bring super powerful CPU and GPU ARM based, that's nearly said ARM, CPU and GPU ARM based combo chips to Windows machines. Machines. I'm really stumbling over my. I was in London all day yesterday, so I'm really struggling to be able to. I was yawning before the show.
You're gonna have great fun with us too. You were in London.
Early start to the day. People are tuning into this and going, "What are these guys talking about?" So Nvidia, the graphics card and AI chipset manufacturer, announced RTX Spark, its new chipset, which aims to bring super powerful CPU and GPU ARM-based combo chips to Windows machines, much like Apple did with its M series of chips, which provide best-in-class performance and power efficiency. And it looks like these RTX Spark chips could actually be the Windows answer to those Apple M series chips. We'll need to see this and see reviews to see how they perform later this year, and it's probably not going to be cheap either. But speaking of that, Qualcomm this past week announced the Snapdragon C series chipset, and also Intel announced their Core Series 3 chipsets, aiming to bring lower power chipsets to Windows machines, much like what, again, Apple did with the MacBook Neo earlier this year, which has disrupted the low-end laptop market. I'm even looking at getting a Neo for our son for his schoolwork, because he's moving up to the secondary school this next year. So, really good machines, actually. However, it remains to be seen whether these new Snapdragon C or Intel Core Series 3 Windows machines can provide similar levels of performance, especially as those devices are going to be competing with the Neo, which means that they're actually only offering 8 gigabytes of RAM, where as a business, when we're speaking with our clients, we actually recommend for Windows 11 machines 16 gigabytes as a minimum for standard business work. 8 is not a lot. Don't get me wrong, 8 for my son, for example, he's going to be doing coursework. That's probably going to be fine. But when you think about, I mean, at any given time, I've probably got like 60 tabs open. Yes, that's probably excessive, but most people will have potentially a dozen or more tabs open in a browser at any given time. They could be using documents or spreadsheets and stuff like that, other accounting software or specialist software for their industries. Like 8 gigabytes is not a lot anymore.
No, it's. I just think that 8's very minimal.
Yeah. So it remains to be seen how these Windows machines perform with these lower series chipsets, but we'll have to see when the reviews come out. I know that Apple, for example, are able to do a lot with their machines because they make the chips, they make the hardware, they make the software, so they can very much tailor how these will perform on their machines. Whereas, of course, if you've got Snapdragon from Qualcomm or the Core Series 3 from Intel on a Windows machine that's made by Microsoft that could also have been manufactured by Asus or Dell or there's lots of different moving parts, and it means that these companies have got to work together to make sure that these new chips perform as best as possible, really. But I suppose finally, in the last sort of news topic for this week, is that with the RAM apocalypse, as I've spoken about it a few times on the show, and the storage shortage and issues, it's having a knock-on effect for consumers around the world. For example, computer gaming store and hardware provider Valve, they own the Steam store, which allows people to be able to download computer games onto Windows PCs, for example, but they also make their own hardware. They announced a more than 40% price hike to their Steam Deck lineup of handhelds. This is despite this particular handset being 2.5 years old and they're still increasing the price by 40%. There's nothing new in this.
But we were discussing this earlier. It's all about supply and
It
demand.
is. It is.
Put it up to whatever if the demand's there for it.
And obviously the demand is there, because even with the increase in price by 40%, like I think the lowest price is about 800 quid nowadays for like their lowest model, and then I think it's about 1,000 for the higher model. But still, within 24 hours of them bringing these back into stock at a higher price, they were sold out.
We're in the wrong game.
Yeah. I mean, RAM, for example, has more than tripled in cost in some cases. My wife, Amy, she's in the next room at the moment. She handles all of the purchasing for our clients. When we're doing RAM upgrades for people, she's having to tell people now, look, like, this is going to cost more than when you've had RAM done previously, because the prices of RAM are going up around the world. And also, we can't guarantee that the cost of the RAM will stay the same for, in some cases, 24 hours, 48 hours at a time. We're having to say to people, like, if you want to get it, I'd get it now, because the prices could go up, and that's down to the manufacturers and the vendors. It's not even down to us.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a scary time. But I suppose with the rising costs of tech, especially when it comes to RAM and storage as well, do you think that lower end mobile class computer components like the MacBook Neo, like the Snapdragon C or the Intel Core 3 series, do you think that these could be the answer, or a temporary answer, for the general consumer who doesn't want to spend many hundreds or thousands of pounds potentially on a new laptop?
It's all a bit. It's hard to know. I mean, obviously, the people don't want to be spending a lot of money,
No,
and I get that because everything's going up. But
everything's going up.
then,
Yeah,
if you don't spend the money, then how soon are you going to have to replace it? If you replace it, what's going to happen to the
yeah.
existing piece of hardware? It's I guess, yes, temporary solution, long term, how it's going to work or what it's going to do, I have no idea.
Well, I suppose that's a bigger question, isn't it? Because what we're usually saying to people nowadays is that the traditional hardware life cycle for a laptop is anything from 3 to 5 years. If you're buying a lower end device like a MacBook Neo or one of these Snapdragon C or Core 3 series of laptops that have only got 8 gigabytes of RAM, I will say that some of the Intel ones can be upgraded, but you are going to pay a lot
Okay.
more for it.
Yeah.
But if you're buying some of these low end ones that can't be upgraded, is that just manufactured e waste that will be useless in 2 to 3 years' time? What's going to happen to these devices that can't be upgraded?
That's the thing. It's everything is a lot of things now. It's all waste.
Yeah,
Can they be taken to pieces? Can they be used in something else? I, I honestly, I have no idea. But it
yeah.
just it doesn't. Cheap's not always good. But as I say,
Sometimes it's
spending the
best to
money.
invest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose with Apple, for example, if you recycle a MacBook or any sort of Apple sort of hardware through an Apple store or through Apple Direct, they do take it. They like disassemble it for parts. They will reuse the aluminium in the frames, for example, into new devices again. Um, but that can't be said for all Windows machines. And sometimes we end up collecting Windows machines from people. We just have to make sure that they're completely wiped and everything. They go into basically e-waste. At that point, we send them off to a waste manufacturer,
I've
not
got three.
manufacturer.
I've got 3 or 4 laptops at home, and they're not cheap.
No,
The ones that you collect. What do you do as a normal consumer? What do you do with them once you're finished with
a
them?
lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know how to properly securely wipe them so that nothing can be gotten off of them. And at the end of the day, we support our clients with these sorts of things. We'll take them, we'll make sure that they're securely wiped, and we go send them to a facility that has, again, similar to us, the Cyber Essentials Plus and 27001 certified, to make sure that they're safely and securely disposed of. But a lot of people don't realize that you can do these sorts of things.
No. Well, your everyday consumer wouldn't have a clue. At least
No,
within the business world, then
you've
yes, you
hopefully
would
got
have
a partner
networks
that can
that you
support you
know.
with it. Yeah.
But yeah, your general consumer probably no idea.
No. And I suppose the danger with these new devices that can't be upgraded is that will just happen. They will just become e-waste. I mean, thankfully, there are still manufacturers out there that are building devices that can be upgraded. You can upgrade the RAM in them, you can upgrade the storage in them, or in the case of someone like Framework, for example, they're quite a niche manufacturer of laptops, but you can basically disassemble the entire thing and they sell all the parts on their website. You want to replace the keyboard, you can just buy the keyboard bit and slot it in. You want to add a number pad onto it, you can just buy the number pad bit and slot it in. You can replace the speakers, you can replace the, I don't know, fingerprint sensor, you can even replace the entire screen and the battery. Yes, you can do all that, but you pay a premium for that flexibility. But the Framework laptops do look quite good. I will admit. If I was a Windows user, I would probably want to go down the Framework route if I was to go down that. But it's just that it's giving you that freedom. You
Yeah.
can even just change the ports that are on them, for example.
That just reminds me, is it Trigger off Only Fools and Horses with his brand new sweeping brush?
Oh yeah.
How many heads and how many?
How many different handles it's had, how many different heads
Yeah,
it's had.
the
Yeah, it's like the sweeping brush of Theseus. But yes, moving on to the main 24 tech tip topic of the week. I got it out quickly that time. 24 tech tip topic of the week, even though I'm tired after a day of walking around London, I made sure I could say it. But this week's topic is talking about the rising threat of malvertising. First of all, Pippa, do you know what malvertising is?
I have no idea. Explain.
For those who don't know what malvertising is a way in which cybercriminals are using fake adverts to pretend to be real brands. They try to trick users into entering personal details or providing financial details to cybercriminals that could allow them to access your online accounts. They could conduct fraudulent bank transactions or launch further attacks on users or businesses that could, I don't know, grant access to further business systems or launch a ransomware attack, for example. These can be through fake social media advertising, but it could also be through fake results on a platform such as Google, for example, in sponsored search results. I suppose now that we've covered what malvertising is in a briefest sense of the word, do you think that you've ever come across a malvertising scam, Pippa?
I'd like to think not, but probably I would suggest the answer is definitely yes,
Yeah.
because I would
I see them all the time, especially on social media.
Instagram, I would say, I think
Yeah.
is probably a big place.
Yeah, I've seen a couple on Instagram even recently. I know last year, for example, I posted over on LinkedIn about a Facebook one that I saw about a business that was pretending to be Smith's Toys. They shared a promoted post that made it look like this advert was giving away free children's gadget sets with a laptop and a camera and a watch and loads of other different things. It even had like comments in the like post, in the advert, should I say, like from people saying, "Oh, they've got a really good gadget set and this, that, and the other." Like it looked like it was from real people, but all of this was just to make the scam look real. It guided people to a website that looked like Smith's Toys. You couldn't use anything on that site. If you clicked on the logo, nothing happened. If you tried to search, nothing happened. But it was designed in such a way that would make it look believable. There was even reviews on there from, again, fraudulent reviews, making it look like this was a real thing, just in a way for people to be able to provide their personal information, provide their bank card to be able to, in air quotes, have just the postage costs covered and things like that. But of course, this was all to be able to launch a further attack and potentially conduct cyber fraud on the people that were filling out these sorts of results. And I suppose that's kind of the core of malvertising, is that cyber criminals are relying on people's trust in known brands, such as Smith's Toys. Click on it, it looks like Smith's Toys. Oh, that's obviously believable. But also it could be for Microsoft, it could be for Google, it could be for Apple. We see it all the time in phishing attacks, where phishing attacks are meant to look like the brand that people are impersonating. But at the end of the day, it's just building that, it's relying on that trust from the end user.
I think
So
also as well, people, they're that busy, they sort of kind of know what they want as
yeah,
such, and they're just clicking. You
you
just
click on it, you see,
scroll through, click on something
yeah.
because it's taken interest, and
It's
does
like,
it
oh,
really
that
matter
looks
whether
really interesting. Oh, this is a
yeah,
really good deal. I best take advantage of this right at this very moment.
yeah.
And again, they're relying on people having that trust in something that looks real, it looks legitimate, or it looks like it's providing, like I say, a really good offer. But I suppose the bigger thing for people is that how can they protect themselves from malvertising? Because if these platforms such as Meta for Facebook and Instagram or Google for search results, if these are still showing up on these platforms, what can people do to protect themselves? And the start of it is all around education, raising awareness, like we're doing now just by talking
I
about it.
must admit, I don't know whether I'm doing right or wrong, but if I see something, certainly on Instagram or a pop-up on any of the other ones, I tend to, if it's something I quite like the look of, I will come off and try and go directly onto their site via.
That's that is exactly one of the things I was
Really?
going to say. That is
Sorry,
exactly one of the
sorry,
things I was
you
going to
have read
say.
ahead,
No,
honestly.
no, no, it's fine because what I would say to people is that there are a few things to look for. First of all, look at the domain, the actual web address. Are there any missing letters, extra letters, misspellings, and things like that? Is it something that seems like it's too good to be true? Because if it seems like it's too good to be true, in more often instances than not, unless like there is a very big brand promotion, like Prime Day coming up on Amazon or something like that. If it's just something random that you see, more than likely it's too good to be true. But even if you are just that little bit suspicious, go directly to a known safe page. Type in the URL yourself. Don't trust the link. Type in the URL yourself, go to that website, see if that promotion is listed there. It's the same thing that I would say to people if they receive a text message from the bank with a link on it saying your account may have been compromised. Click this link to be able to secure your account. At that point, you don't click on the link. You
Straight.
go directly to your bank account. And if your bank account is telling you about it, then at that point, you do the relevant security things, or you call them direct on the number that's probably on the back of your bank card. Or if it's an online store, for example, call the local store. If they've got a local store, call them up. I've seen this offer. Like, is this a legitimate thing? If they turn around and say no, it's not, of course, like report these sorts of things.
Who would you report it to?
Well, in the terms of malvertising, for example, whether it's Google, whether it's Meta for Instagram and Facebook, usually what you'll find is that there's a little three dots next to the post or next to the search result listing
Okay, yeah.
that will allow you to be able to give feedback. And you can report at that point that it's a malicious advert or it's a malicious result. And by reporting these sorts of things, you're not only keeping yourself safe from it, but you're keeping others safe from it as well. And that's just a really easy way to be able to do that. But of course, not everyone will think to do that. So education around these sorts of things is still key. And making sure that, say, for example, your online accounts have a secondary form of authentication, such as biometrically authenticated multi-factor authentication. So, like, you have to go and scan your face to be able to get a code to be able to type into a website. Again, things like multi-factor authentication, if it's a live attack, people could be monitoring for those keys and capturing them. So something like a passkey, for example, or single sign-on across multiple different accounts is a good way to be able to secure your accounts from these sorts of attacks. So where you may see sign in with Microsoft or sign in with Google or sign in with Apple, those are all better ways to be able to secure your accounts rather than just typing in an email address or username and password without any additional security. For business accounts, what we recommend for things like Microsoft 365, for example, is that ensuring that your accounts are actively monitored by people like ourselves, a cybersecurity provider, looking for signs that people are trying to access your accounts or use those accounts to be able to access services, but also implementing other newer tools like Zero Trust or Zero Trust Cloud Access, which forces accounts to go through a secure cloud broker. So think of, let me try and word it to describe it in an easier way. So if you think of when you're currently trying to sign into your Microsoft account, you've got your phone or your laptop or something like that, and you type in your credentials and you create a direct connection to Microsoft services. That's just that one direct connection that you may have additional security on. However, Zero Trust Cloud Access, for example, it looks at your domain. So for us, 24 IT, and it says, okay, well, that needs to actually be authenticated through a secure cloud broker. So rather than creating a direct route to Microsoft, we're going to reroute this through this secure channel. That secure channel then is going to say, okay, well, the device that this person is connecting from, has that been authenticated? Is that user authenticated to be able to access this service from that device? And it's adding those additional layers to your security for all of your online cloud services. But even tools, oh, I've got my watch talking to me in my background. But even tools such as Web Gateway for security, for example, are a good way to be able to secure online browsing sessions on a range of different websites because it holds your web traffic on a remote secure server and monitors that traffic on your behalf, again, through something like our own cybersecurity operations center. They monitor to make sure that no malicious activity or downloads are attempting to be used through those services. So,
It's all well and good this, and I get why we have to do it, but when it is annoying having to have to do it,
yeah,
going through 2 and 3 different.
it
Yeah,
can be.
it's not. You hear other people when they're trying to log into things that
Yeah.
you've got to have your phone because you need it for a code for this, and
Yeah, or you need
it's
to scan your face or something like that, or you
but
need
at
your
least there are
fingerprint.
things in place,
Yeah.
I guess.
I suppose the better way of looking at it, and I was talking to someone about this the other day, so this it's really relevant at the moment, is that yes, multi-factor authentication, these additional processes to be able to secure your accounts or additional steps that you have to do to be able to get things, yes, they can seem inconvenient at the time. However, if those extra steps are going to stop someone from being able to access your accounts, access your personal or business information, the cost in time of being able to access those is far lower than the cost
Yeah,
uh,
definitely.
to your business or to your personal information when it comes to an attacker gaining access.
Yeah, no, Greek as much. Yeah, it is. It is a pain to do
Yeah.
it, but
Cost of security is far lower than the cost of remediation. That's the long and short of it.
yeah,
So what I would recommend is if anyone wants to find out more about malvertising, because this has been a very brief overview, we have a full article on the new 24 IT website over in the insights section, which also now has little filters. So if you want to filter by cybersecurity topics, IT topics, AI topics, or even just search for a particular topic, you can now search directly on our insights page, which Natalie has said to me this week that she's already thankful for, because when she's creating some of the content that I've given her for the month, she's like, oh, I want to reference to this article. I can't find it. So now all she has to do is search on our own website and find the article, and she can link directly to it. So
that's a really good idea, actually.
yeah, it's making it much more easier for us as well as for our end users as well. But yes, head over to the 24 IT website. We have got a lot more information on there for people to be able to find out more about malvertising and also how you can protect yourself, your business, and report many of these different types of attacks as well. Moving into the final part of the show, though, now, I mean, Pippa, for For people who have maybe not tuned into the previous episode or maybe not come across you at networking events over the years, tell us a little bit more about Applaud. Who are you? What do you do? What's a bit of your history as well? Let's go into a little bit of that.
Oh, crikey. Right. So, Applaud is 3.5 years old. We've been going, so relatively newish business. Previous to that, though, I was in a different business.
That shall not be named.
No, no, no. Can do. That one's been and gone. So no. So Applaud's been going for 3 years. We do business growth and accreditation. So helping businesses that are wanting to not just necessarily add employees into the business, but to actually to grow the business,
Yeah.
to expand into different areas, different sectors. And then accreditations such as ISO 9001, and then your construction ones, your CHAS, your safe contractor, your
Yeah.
construction line. So yeah, that's kind of what we help people do. It's all interesting because I don't specifically work with one sector.
No, you work
Um,
with people across a lot of different industries, really, don't you?
to me, that actually, I think it helps
Yeah.
because what one sector's doing well, that could actually work well for a different sector and they
Yeah.
don't necessarily know about it. We've just done some accreditations for Clean and Bright.
All right. Yeah.
Yes, they've just got their CHAS and we're in the process of doing some others for them. I'm just helping somebody set up ISO 9001 as an actual system. So,
For those that don't know, can you briefly explain
oh,
9001 and Chaz?
so
I know, but I know that there'll be people tuning in that maybe
you'll
don't know
probably
what these are.
explain it better than me. So basically, 9001 is a quality management system. It's often used to obtain going for tenders for bigger businesses. Can I just say I don't know whether you can see it, but I'm talking using my hands now. I'm talking.
So I always use my hands. I'm very like Natalie hates it when we're recording videos in the office because she has to stand like an extra foot back just to get in all my hand gestures.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of doing. It helps me think. So yeah, so quality management system. So it's all about ensuring that your business is safe, secure, streamlined. That the everybody working within your business is working and singing to the same hymn sheet. It gives you credibility as a business for the tenders. It's often something that's asked for. Um, I was asked the other day, by somebody, did their company or their business actually need ISO 9001? The answer to that is only they can answer that.
Yeah.
Um, what I would say and what I did say is, um, if you worked in a line with, then that makes a whole lot of sense to your business.
Yeah.
Um,
We're seeing that a lot at the moment with other accreditations as well. So
27,001.
yeah, 27,001 Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus, especially in manufacturing and logistics sectors, we've seen a massive uptake, and charities as well.
Yeah.
That are all now being required when they're going for tender to have certain certifications in place, whether that is from the cyber and data protection side, but also from the quality side as well, like 9001. They're being required to have many of these certifications as part of that tender process.
Yeah, you can actually go through some of the tenders. Some of them will ask if you have, well, most of them will ask if you have it.
Yeah.
Some will then say, if you don't, are you working towards?
Yeah.
And that's always sort of
And
a
it's
bit
sometimes that you have
tricky.
to prove that by a certain date or something that
Yeah,
you'll have the right solutions
yeah.
in place or something like that.
And with regards to CHAS, construction line, safe contractor, that's a lot to do with it's not just the construction companies, but it is predominantly, and that's a similar thing in the fact that they have to prove that they're covering the health and safety,
Yeah.
that they are, again, if they use subcontractors, that they are ensuring that their subcontractors are compliant. Um, so a lot of it, when you talk to people, they assume it's a tick box exercise.
Yeah.
You could look at it like that, but that's not the best way to do it.
No,
It's
we
asking you
say,
to do something
yeah,
to help improve.
your processes, isn't it? So what we're telling people a lot at the moment, especially like we've got at the moment, I want to say it's more than half a dozen that we're supporting businesses to achieve either Cyber Essentials or Cyber Essentials Plus. One actually is going through 27,001, if I remember rightly. But what we say to people, it's not that tick box exercise. It's not a one and done solution.
Yeah,
It's a holistic change to your business processes to make sure that you're staying in line with these regulations.
it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah,
It helps. Your processes help you. Certainly, if you are bringing new people on board, it can save you an awful lot of time in training. I'm not
yeah,
saying you don't have to train, but if your systems and processes are in place and in order,
yeah.
then it's easier for somebody to pick up the information.
Exactly. And
Uh,
also having the right auditing in process as well. It can help come the time when you're looking to recertify by having the processes in place for all of these different regulations and by recording all of these different things that you're doing as a business. It means that come the time of recertification, all you have to do is, okay, here's what we're doing now, and here's how we've grown as a business. Here's how we've grown as the certifications and the regulations have evolved as well.
well,
Because some of these regulations will change sometimes
well,
every year or every
9001.
couple of years.
Well, yeah, 9001. There's a, don't ask me what it is because I'm not 100% sure yet. But in September, some of their clauses are changing. I have got the new paperwork, but I need to read to see what
Well, this is what's
what's
important,
changing.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got a client that I actually go into monthly,
yeah,
and do monthly internal audits for
yeah,
them on certain clauses, but they're going to be aware, or they're going to be prepared before September
yeah.
for the changes.
And this is why it's important to partner with someone such as yourself for things like 9001 Chaz and anything else as well, or people like who come to us for Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus and 27,001. And it's important to partner with a provider who is proactively keeping up to date with these regulations, understanding the nuances to them, and how better to support the end user and the client at that point, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is, and there's an awful lot of crossover with 9001 with the other ISOs.
Yeah,
So yeah, and the same with the other accreditations. There's often a lot of crossover. People, I think some of the time as people worry that you can tell them about it or they've read about it and it's like, we can't do that, we
yeah,
don't do that. Most businesses will have something in place. It's just the terminology of things.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. I suppose what else have you got coming up this year, Pippa? I know that there is specifically some events that you have coming up, and it's a great opportunity to be able to talk about them.
Yeah, well, one specific one that is coming up, well, not coming up, it's in the next few months, but bearing in mind, I can't believe it, we're already
It'll be here
June.
before we
It
know it.
will, but yeah, the International Men's Day, again, this will be the third year we've done it.
Third, yep.
Um,
Been to the last two, so
you make sure you come to the third one
yep.
as well then. So again, 19th of November, again at Castle Park.
Who have you
Um,
got speaking this year?
a gentleman called Dave Neeshaw.
Yeah.
The first year we had somebody discussing sport. The second year was somebody telling us. Well, so obviously the first one was Serena McGeek, and the second year one was Barry Miller, who took us on his journey.
Yeah, his mental health journey was
Unbelievable.
it was so, I would say, interesting to hear, but that barely covers it. It's important that people understand the types of journeys that people like him have been through.
Exactly. And then this year, Dave Neeshaw, we're going on a slightly different sort of way around it. He will, unfortunately, we're never going to be able to eradicate it. It would be really, really nice. However, he's going to help us put things in place to stop it. He's going to help businesses understand probably more or a little bit more about their employees and how they can support their employees.
Yeah.
So again, and then again, lucky enough that Doncaster Council are sponsoring it.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's good to be able to see that our city is supporting events like this as well and getting behind them. And I think you've also got, is it Lee that's going to be sitting on the panel?
Yep, Lee Tillman's going to be there. Who else have I got on the panel? Sarah Ray.
Yeah.
Rob Smith.
Yeah.
Ryan, and I'm going to be really awful now, and I can't remember his surname, but Mental Health Football Club, Ryan. Yep. Really apologise for that, Ryan.
We all know him as the mental health football guy.
There you go, you see.
He's lovely as Ryan. He's come across to a few of the marketing events as well, and he's always great to be able to see him.
So I forgot. And Rick Courtney.
Oh, right, yeah.
And
that'll be interesting to be able to hear from all those guys.
Nick Sables.
And Wayne as well. It's always good to be able to hear from Wayne.
Definitely.
But yes, no, I suppose there's other things that are going to be coming up throughout the local region as well. Just, I suppose I'll let people know now. There'll be no new episode next week because Pippa, me and you are going to be heading over to the Doncaster What's Next business conference, aren't we?
Forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, it's not something that either of us are involved directly in, but we're attending and we're representing our local business community over there. But those are great events as well. We're also going to be heading over, hopefully it's going to be dry, to the Wildlife Park later this week for the South Yorkshire Chambers networking event. But yeah, there's lots of exciting things coming up. One of them as well is the Doncaster Business Awards, which 24 IT headline sponsors of again, and next year as well.
Excellent.
For those who are wanting to enter the Doncaster Business Awards, just reminder to people, the entries for the Doncaster Business Awards close this Sunday, the 7th. So if you're wanting to enter for this year's awards, which are in December, you need to get your entries in now. Okay?
Always good event.
It's a fantastic event, and it's a great way to be able to bring together people and businesses from across our local community and just celebrate the brilliant work that we do locally. So yeah,
categories this year as
there
well,
is,
which allows
some
different
people and businesses. Some interesting new categories, and I'm looking forward because there's like one for professional services, there's one for like hospitality, there's like a Doncaster, I forget what the actual wording of it is, but like basically like a champion of Doncaster sort of thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing the finalists for these as well, celebrating them. But also the winners of these different new categories as well. So no, it's gonna be a really interesting one this year. It's the biggest business awards in the UK, I believe.
Doncaster put on good events.
We do put on good events. The local Doncaster Chamber and businesses across the local region always put on brilliant events. We have a fantastic business community, I think, as a whole. So yeah, no, I mean it's just one of those things. We both me and you, Pippa, we've been involved in networking events across our local region for many years now, I would say. And it's good to be able to see the type of business community that we have and how it's growing and expanding.
Yeah, definitely. And there's always somebody available or there
Yeah.
for you if needed. It's
We're all here
absolutely
to support
fantastic.
each other to succeed. That's probably the best way that I can word that. But thank you, Pippa, for coming by today. Is there anything else that you want to be able to share? Is that?
I don't think so. There's nothing like putting me on the spot for that. I'll
Now,
think about it when I've walked away and come back.
yeah. Now, we revealed your email address earlier in the show when we did the email security check, which we will come back to after the show. But
Yes.
how can people get in contact with you if they want to find out more about the services that you do, such as 27001 Chaz or any of the other certifications and regulations that you can support people with? How can they get in touch with you?
Oh, they'll often see me out and about networking. There's my email address, which everybody's seen, which is pippa@applaudbc.co.uk, and I will put some branding on it at some point, if only to bring one of those bits of scores up. There is my telephone number. It's all on the website, but the telephone number 0770 4611 970. And just talk to people in Doncaster like AJ. They'll put
Yep.
you in touch.
I'm sure that there'll be plenty of people out there that can put people in touch with Pippa. I know that I've spoken to people and put them directly in touch with you in the past, haven't I, Pippa? So even if it's just, I mean, me and Pippa talk quite often just outside of the show and outside of networking. She'll sometimes just phone me up and I'll be like, "Hey, up, trouble." So it's
got that name.
No, it's a few different things.
Don't share it.
But no, thank you very much again for joining me today,
Thank you for
Pippa.
having me again.
And I will see you later this week.
Tomorrow.
Other people will see you later this week as well.
Yeah.
But hopefully you can come back and join me again in the future on the podcast as well.
Third time.
Yeah.
Yes, third time lucky.
Yes, third time lucky. Third time's the charm, maybe.
Yes.
We'll see.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for tuning in this week or checking out the show on demand. And hopefully you all have a brilliant week. See you later. Thank you very much.